What's up guys, today I'm showing you how to build my favorite micro build so far, a 2-inch Freestyle Ripper that flies like a 5-inch drone but in a tiny hoop-sized package. It handles incredibly well, and unlike a standard 75mm whoop, it actually holds its own in the wind, plus it's built like a tank, making it the perfect choice to throw in your bag for a heavy bando session. I chose HDZero for this particular build, but the frame is still compatible with my 3D prints. I've linked those in the description below for you to download and print at home. Now let's see what parts you need for this build. This video is sponsored by MEPSking, and I've been sourcing more of my core components from them lately. It's been really convenient to grab the main electronics and motors in one go, plus they're offering you guys 6% off with my discount code XAAFPV. Go ahead and check out their website. For the frame, I went with the infamous Apex 2. It's a super affordable frame from China, and for about a tenner, the build quality is as solid as you would expect. If you're based in the US, you should also check out the Max M2 frame. I took a lot of inspiration from Max's designs for this build, but unfortunately he doesn't ship overseas yet. Shout out to Max, hopefully I can get a build done with one of his frames soon. The brain of this quad is the HDZero AIO15 paired with the Eco camera. It's a solid low latency digital system, and because the latency is fixed, it feels just like home to an analog pilot like me. It's definitely the right choice to keep this 2-inch build light, agile and responsive while going digital. To drive these Gemfan 2023 tree blades, MEPSking sent over these HGLRC Specter 1202.5 11,000 kV motors. I'm really glad they did. They're incredibly smooth and give this build enough punch to feel remarkably like a 5-inch Freestyle rig. You will also want to grab some 17mm long M2 aluminum standoffs. This frame actually comes with plastic ones, but they're too flimsy and basically useless for a build like this. Other than that, you'll just need some standard M2 screws and hex nuts. I highly recommend picking up an M2 screw assortment, as they're incredibly handy for small builds like this one. And of course, we can't forget batteries. HobbyKing sent over some Turnigy Bolt X High-Vs for this project. Fun fact, I actually used Turnigy batteries on my first build nearly a decade ago, so I'm keen to see how the new tech holds up. I'll be comparing these directly to the Betaflight Lava 2s later on, so stay tuned for that. Enough talking, let's start building. First, let's get this all-in-one out of the box. We're gonna need the power leads as well as the board, and we can put the rest aside for now. We're gonna kick things off by prepping the AIO. I'm removing the 4 motor plugs so I can solder the motor wires directly to the board. If you aren't comfortable doing this, just a heads up that you can get these same motors with the corresponding plugs to make your build much quicker and easier. Now grab some pliers and remove the plastic part of the plug first to expose the pins. These pins are on there pretty tight, so take your time and be patient. Once they're off and the pads are cleaned up, your board should look like this. Next up, it's time for the power leads. I'm gonna remove the capacitor from the wires so it can be soldered straight to the AIO. To keep this build clean, shorten the red lead to around 40mm and the black lead to around 45mm. That slight difference in length makes the routing much cleaner in the final layout. Now take the capacitor and slide on some heat shrink for insulation, leaving just the tips exposed for soldering. Pre-tin your AIO battery pads and confirm the polarity. Remember, the stripe on the capacitor indicates the negative flag. Solder it down, bend it out of your way, and then solder your power leads right on top of the capacitor pins. Use a good amount of flux here to help the solder flow into a clean joint. Once that's done, you will have a tidy, relatively low profile power setup like this. Before we can mount this to our frame, we continue prepping the AIO by unboxing the camera. I chose the Eco for this project, but you can definitely swap it for the Lux camera if you prefer. It's a little pricier, but you get a higher resolution image in return. We're gonna solder the camera to these pads right here, and keep in mind that these wires are just barely long enough for this layout, so double check your orientation and solder them exactly as I'm doing here to ensure you have enough slag. Now we're finally ready to mount the AIO. First, attach the included VTX antenna to the UFL connector. Since we're mounting this AIO upside down, the antenna orientation is a bit of a compromise due to the surrounding carbon and motor wires. For my flying style and this type of build, the range and penetration are perfectly fine, and I value the durability of this setup, but you can always play around with the placement yourself and maybe use a different antenna. Also, make sure your ELRS antenna is bent upwards just like mine. With that ready, grab the bottom plate, the rubber grommets, the 12mm stack screws and the hex nuts. Start by inserting those grommets into the AIO mounting holes. Next, insert the stack screws and use the hex nuts to keep the AIO in place. With the all-in-one set, we can grab our motors and 3D printed arm guards to get them mounted. You might notice I've tweaked the final arm guard design slightly since the prototype. This was just to shave off some extra weight to keep a perfect balance between weight and durability. Use the 6mm screws for the holes with the 3D printed guards and the shorter 4mm screws for the bare carbon side of the arm. Alternatively, you can use the shorter screws that come in the box with the motors. I used a bit of tape on each arm to hold the motor wires in place. It makes the whole process much easier. I first trim the wires to length, making sure to leave enough slack so they aren't under tension. With the pads pre-tinned and plenty of flux applied, I'm soldering the wires into the specific cutouts on the HDZero AIO. You'll see me tucking the VTX antenna underneath the motor wires here, but after some testing I actually found out that running the antenna above the wires gives slightly better signal results. I keep the camera wires bent out of the way while working on this motor, then simply route them back over the top once the motor is set. These pads are fairly small, so definitely take your time. When you're finished, it should look like this. As you can see, the wires on my front left motor ended up a bit shorter than I'd like compared to the others, but I'm still happy with how clean the final result turned out. Now that the soldering is done, we're ready to wrap this build up. Grab your 4 aluminum standoffs, the camera print and the front bumper print, along with 4 of the screws that came with the frame. Just a quick heads up, because those camera wires are so short, you'll definitely need to insert the front 2 standoffs into the camera mount before you try mounting them to the bottom plate. Now grab your top plate and install the prints that are going to hold our battery into place. Grab the remaining 4 frame screws and mount the top plate. Make sure to route your power leads through the bottom right cutout exactly like you see me doing here. We're almost there, just one more print to go. This piece acts as a guard for the power leads, preventing the wires from rubbing against the sharp carbon fiber edges and getting damaged over time. Before we put this on the scale and talk about batteries and flight times, we need to get the props mounted. I'm using the longer screws that come with the Specter motors. They're the perfect length for this setup. This thing comes in at around 60 grams dry. With the 450 mAh HobbyKing battery, we're at 94.4 grams, so clearly below the 100 gram mark. And the 550 mAh pushes it to 97.3 grams, which seems pretty heavy for this type of 2-inch quad. The performance on those packs was honestly disappointing. I was barely getting 3.5 to 4 minutes of flight time and the whole thing just felt off. That's when I switched to these Betaflight Lava 580 and 680 mAh packs. Somehow they've managed to make these lighter despite the higher capacity. The 680 mAh Lava has nearly 25% more capacity than the 550 mAh HobbyKing battery, yet it's almost 4 grams lighter. With the 580 Lava, the total weight drops to 89.1 grams, which I think is pretty decent for this type of 2-inch freestyle drone. The 680 brings us to 93.4 grams, so clearly below 100 grams, and of course we get longer flight times compared to the HobbyKing batteries, but more about that in a minute. Now, almost 94 grams might still sound heavy for this size, and I thought so too at first, but after flying the Lava packs, I have to say that this thing feels like a much larger freestyle drone. Due to that extra weight, you can carry the momentum and make tricks feel more natural, something I usually only get with larger, heavier rigs. Since I live near a windy coast, my goal was as small as possible, heavy as possible setup that could still punch through the air with decent flight times. And I think I just accomplished that with this build. With the hover at around 22%, it still has plenty of power. I'm easily getting 4.5 to 5 minutes on the 580s and even a bit over 5 minutes on the 680s Lava. I definitely recommend the Lava series for this build. The HobbyKing packs aren't bad, but they're just too heavy considering their capacity, especially for micros where weight is a crucial factor. If anyone at HobbyKing is watching, swap that 14 gauge wire for 18 gauge, shorten the leads, increase capacity and slim down those cells, and you'll have a competitive pack for micro builds like this one. Now all there's left to do is to connect this to your computer and flash the ELRS and your ESC, then head down to the description to download my flight controller configuration. Always remember to take your props off whenever you're working on the bench. This build has been a blast to put together and I hope you get as much joy out of flying this little ripper as I do. Let me know what you think of this build in the comments and feel free to drop any questions down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe so I can keep bringing you more content like this. Happy flying!